The internet, as we've known it, is dying. I mean, whether we know it or not, the sites we're using, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, if you're an old grandma, all of the big ones, they're dying. And it's not just them. They set a standard for the rest of the modern internet as we know it. And as a result, day by day, it rots more and more. I'm a big believer in saying that nearly everything is subjective, and that includes this, but after this, I believe it's going to grow harder and harder for you to use these platforms when you know what else is out there that's just so much better than all of this. That after using it for a bit and coming back here and the other platforms you use, I'm just going to show you how rotted they become, and especially what it's done to you as well. Alright, I'm going to be real with you. That was the only part I've actually written an intro for. Please don't leave because I have my webcam on and I don't have like constant brain stimulation going on here and there and this. Let's start off with the internet in 2009. Do you remember that era? Maybe you're a bit too young, but that era was generally just a bit after the internet seemed completely brand new, right? And this whole new expansive thing. And just a bit before it got like become controlled territory, for lack of a better term. You know, after like the explosion of YouTube and Let's Playing, I generally place that as to where the internet sort of became controlled territory, so to speak, and a place where you could actually monetize. Okay, but what the fuck is controlled territory? What do I mean by that? Am I some crazy person? Like, am I just the town crier going, "The internet is not the same"? What am I talking about? Well, let me explain here. You know that feeling, let's say, when you go to create a new video, or maybe you want to upload something to YouTube, and you start working on it, but you just feel like it isn't good enough. You feel like, oh, I gotta improve this. People wouldn't like it if I did this, or, you know, this wouldn't really be engaging to people if I did this, or that. And yeah, you can go and have people tell you, well, make it for yourself, the video is for yourself. But I bet you anything, those people have the same impulses when they go to make their own content. Why the fuck do we have those impulses in the first place? Why do we feel like we have to appeal to people? Why do we feel like if we go do an Let's Play, even if we do a Let's Play, because most of the time, either what we want to do has already been done, or we just don't feel confident in our own stuff, why do we feel like we need to act as if we already have a career out of this? Why do we have to like act as if we're another, you know, YouTuber? Why do we gotta copy styles? Why do we gotta say, hey guys, welcome to my video when you introduce the video? And why do we have to have outros and all that shit? Why do we have to appeal to an audience? And this doesn't just apply to like YouTube content, you know that, right? This also applies to Twitter, to, if you use it, Facebook, to Instagram. It's the whole addiction that everyone's been talking about, or that you've heard about in the past fucking decade or something like that. It's the whole thing where we feel like we have to appeal ourselves to an audience. So why? Why does this exist? Well, to answer that question, we're gonna have to go back to 2009. This is just a bit after the internet was a brand new thing, and just a bit before it became this controlled territory that I keep referencing. So, what was it like? Well, you had MySpace, and, well, back then, it was sort of your own corner of the internet if you were on MySpace. You could customize your own web page, you could post whatever the fuck you wanted to, because it didn't matter that people looked at it. It was just you being you. It was you putting yourself out there for the sake of it, because fuck it, why not? Twitter, back in 2009, was just a place to put out your thoughts. It's like the little blips that go on inside your head. You just got to tweet them out, and who gave a fuck if they saw them or not? It'd be cool if a couple people agreed with you and maybe like blah 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 blah, but you weren't looking to really appeal to anyone. You're just having a thought that came in your head, oh, that'd be funny if I posted that to Twitter, blah 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 blah. Go tweet it, right? And that is the first aspect to the controlled territory that I'm talking about. It's the need, the want, the desire to go and get your numbers up, to appeal to an audience who doesn't even exist yet, to go and make people like you. That's the first separator, and that's the first thing that makes the internet controlled territory as we know it. So what's the second thing? Well, it's the way that the internet is controlled right now. Now, I'm probably going to sound like some nostalgia freak right now, being like, back in 2009, things were so much better. But listen, I'm actually going to make a point here and actually show you things that you can do right now and that you probably were going to want to. So, back in 2009, what made websites like YouTube, Twitter, all the social medias, basically the whole internet as a whole, different than it is now? Well, I would say now, mostly everything's focused on getting a profit from you. And listen, I know that sounds a little extremist, I'm going to be honest. Even I'm surprised I'm saying that, but what is the goal of any business? It's to make fucking money. That is the goal of any business. Sure, they have secondary goals, but what's their primary goal? What is the point of having a business? It's to get money. That's why they exist. And yeah, it was the same thing back in 2009, but the way that they did it was different. It wasn't, back then, hacking your fucking brain into getting the most absolute watch time out of you by creating the most brain-stimulating content, by throwing aside your entire personality to get a couple more people. It wasn't that. No. It was just by getting traffic to their site. And how did they get the traffic to their site? By being unique. It wasn't by hacking your fucking brain and getting you to do all that shit, like getting more watch time and throwing your whole personality aside and all the stuff that I've said. No. It was by being unique. It was by providing things for people that just let them be themselves, that let you be creative, that didn't restrict you to having to throw aside your entire self to fucking appeal to a select few people who don't even exist yet. Only inside your head they do. Not the same thing now. Because over the years, those same places, they saw just how much money could be made off of pushing it further, and further, and forgetting the original reason that what they made even existed for. I mean, YouTube. It's not the same, obviously. It's no longer a site about just putting yourself out there and just having fun. No. Now, for them, it's about having the absolute maximum viewer retention time. So that no matter what's going on, even if you just finish an hour-long video, there's always going to be something in your recommended that's just perfectly tailored for you. Just enough where you're going to spend more time on the site, and more time, and more time, and more time, so they can make more money, and more money, and more money. YouTube Shorts is the fucking creation of the devil. It is the perfect formula to get you to just have the maximum retention time on their app or on their website, because it's the most brain stimulation in the most least amount of time, and it's just so much to take in, and your brain just fucking loves it. It's no longer about being creative. It's about making money. And that's the problem. You see it a lot with AI. AI has been introduced into so much shit. Why? Because it makes people money. It's not because it's this new brand thing. I mean, yeah, that's one of the marketing aspects that's used, but it's because it makes money. All the focus, it's not about just putting yourself out there anymore. It's about monetization. It's about how much revenue can I get from this. Facebook is now creating fucking fake AI profiles of people who've never existed before, because guess what? It gets more traffic. It gets more money. It gets more people. And it's just coming down this whole fucking devolving rabbit hole of slop in just complete nonsense, and nothing makes sense anymore. You've got people making content not about themselves, but making content that's almost engineered, almost tailored perfectly to get an audience to just spend the most time looking at it, or have the most brain stimulation going on when you look at it. And that's the problem. That's why the internet is controlled territory now. Because it's no longer about little places that you go to that are like little islands and little corners, or like little rural villages in a land of a whole massive forest. I don't know. It's about everywhere you go now is a sprawling metropolis. Or if it's not a sprawling metropolis, it's a little urban town that's coming to you in every moment that they get, trying to get your money. And the big sites, like I said at the beginning of the video, rub off on the rest of the internet. Because you have smaller sites now that are not really doing anything but trying to get a profit from you alongside the thing that they do. Sure, the thing that they do is pretty cool, but it's more important that they're getting money out of you. You cannot find a single thing that is free to use and that is pretty cool that isn't either a subscription service or that costs you a little bit of money to do. The whole internet is filled with dollar signs in its eyes now. Again, it's all about monetization. And for us, as people, as consumers, as content creators, what does that mean for us? Because we are consumers, and some of us, we are content creators. What does it mean? Well, it means we just bought into it all. I mean, over the years, this has happened so gradually that we've barely even noticed until recently. With the whole advent of AI stuff and just a bunch of slop coming around, we've barely noticed. And so we just let ourselves get subjected to this. We let our whole minds be changed. We're no longer living lives that are just about having fun, or being ourselves, or going out and fucking experiencing things because we're alive. No. We're here because we have to appeal to people. That's what we've been convinced. That's what we think. And guess what? That way of thinking, that whole thing that's going on, that is exactly what makes everything fucking dollar bills. And that's why the internet is dying. So, what can we do? Are we just gonna sit back and accept the fate of the internet? Just continue on scrolling through fucking Twitter, looking at porn, looking at YouTube, looking at content to just stimulate our brains? Is that all we're gonna do? Just gonna sit back and let the internet die? Get filled with more and more slop? No. Because guess what? There are places that exist just for the purpose of letting you be you. That exist to get away from all the fucking slop that everything is now. That exist to just let you express yourself. That exist to just be there and be things that don't have to have you fucking always constantly be thinking, what can I do about my audience? How can I make this appealing? No. These places just exist because they can, because they're unique, because they're creative, because it allows you to be you. So, what are these places? And what are we gonna do? Switch to them? Abandon the other things? Well, let me answer your first question. What are these places? We're all most of the time on YouTube, right? Let's just get that out of the way. So, for YouTube, this site called BitView. Trust me, go out there, check out the content. It's modeled to look like YouTube in the earlier days, but the content on there isn't just like, you know, people pretending it's YouTube in 2009. No. It's actual content that people are making. I mean, there's tons of great tons of great channels doing commentaries and stuff, and even musicians uploading their music onto there. And the best part about it, there's no fucking slop. You don't have to feel like you have to go make videos to, you know, be this person that's appealing to this whole audience or some dumb shit like that. No. It's just there because you can make content and upload it, be silly about it. And guess what? It's actually going to be a little bit of a shock, probably. Because it's not going to be the same brain stimulation content that you've been used to for the past several years. It's going to be people just uploading themselves. And it's going to be like unedited commentaries and stuff like that, and gameplay, and people just being silly. And you might find yourself getting bored at first. Because it's not the same brain stimulation content with all the fancy editing and things popping up here and popping up there and, oh, this is fancy music in the background, oh my god. It's not going to be any of that. And you're going to find yourself probably getting bored a little bit. And that just goes to show you how fucked up this has all made your brain. How fucked up it's made you. Because you shouldn't be this way. You should be able to just enjoy something and sit there and watch it and not have to feel like, well, there's not things happening here and here and here, and so I'm gonna go click off the video. Even that's not a conscious thing, yeah, but you shouldn't have to subconsciously feel like that. That's not a normal way to feel. Your attention span, your whole brain has been reprogrammed. It's time for you to take it back. Seriously. And you're gonna go there maybe, and you're gonna probably upload some stuff, and you might feel like, oh, I'm not getting any views on this. I'm just gonna go back to YouTube. Trust me, that's a normal feeling, I know. But you go back to YouTube after spending a good amount of time on there, you're gonna realize just how programmed everything feels. Just how ungenuine everything feels. Where everything feels like it's just there to grab your attention and that's it. And it's your choice if you want to live like that or not. Me? I'm not living like that. In fact, I'm leaving YouTube. Permanently. The only thing I'm going to upload on here anymore is my own music. That's it. Just so that people have more accessibility to places to listen to my music at for free. That's the only reason I'm going to upload anything on here anymore. I am no longer going to be making actual content on YouTube. I am leaving YouTube permanently. I'm going to BitView. Permanently. Because YouTube is dead. That's a fact. And, well, let's of course talk about what can you do about personal sites and stuff like that, like Twitter. Well, you got a few options for Twitter, but I would recommend SpaceA. Because not only can you go customize your whole profile with CSS and make it look entirely yours to exactly the point of how you want to make it, but there's nothing on there that incentivizes you to go make things for an audience or shit like that. You make friends, and then you post like bulletins that your friends can see. And so you just make friends and talk to new people and, you know, post things on your blog on SpaceA. It is like a recreation of MySpace. And that, honestly, would be my #1 replacement for Twitter. I'm gonna be completely honest with you. And that's another thing I'm leaving permanently. I'm leaving Twitter permanently. And I'm permanently moving to SpaceA too. Yeah, I genuinely believe in it that much. There's gonna be people, of course, being like, well, why don't you just go to Blue Sky? It's a lot better than Twitter. And to your credit, yeah, it is a lot better than Twitter. But I don't feel like it's that great, to be honest. Because you still have things that are just going to suck your attention into it, which are not going to be about putting yourself out there. It's just going to be about, oh shit, what's this politics stuff happening? Oh god, oh Jesus. Oh. Blue Sky is alright, don't get me wrong, but for something that's really just more about reprogramming your brain to just having the internet be about you, just do what you want to do, I recommend SpaceA the most. Another alternative for Twitter would be blips.club, which is something created by the creators of BitView. That is also a recreation of Twitter as it was in 2009. Generally, you're going to find the audience and the people there more akin to the sort of mindset that I'm trying to tell you about here. There's another one that's called, I don't really know how to pronounce it, hyonk.me, which is this really, really beautifully laid out website, which has a really nice community. That is, again, about this mindset that I'm telling you about. And I mean, knowing how people work, knowing how I work, knowing how I initially reacted to this, some of you might go to these sites and be like, oh, this is cool, this is awesome, and then you go and you create an account, maybe you use it for 1 or 2 days, and then you just find yourself craving so hard to go back to what you had. Brain wants that stimulation again. So you just leave and you go back to Twitter, or you go back to YouTube and you never touch it again. That's something that can happen. That's something you might feel. If you really have been pre-programmed just enough, that is something that might happen to you, where you feel that instinct, that desire to go back, to have that constant stimulation going on. So, as something that I can guarantee to you, if you give these websites at least a week of just using them, not using anything else, and letting your brain reacclimate itself and getting readjusted to what things should be like and how you should feel, you're gonna feel so much fucking better. And when you go back, if you try and go back to YouTube, you're not gonna want to stay there. Like, you're literally going to find yourself feeling a little bit disgusted at what the content has turned into. And that's the answer to the second question, which is, are we just gonna ditch the places we have now for these? Which is, yeah, should. Truthfully, I believe But we should. It's because it's gonna be better for us. Genuinely. You can see it everywhere. I'm sure you know. I'm sure you can see it. It's that things are just not great right now on the modern internet. So let's fucking take it back. Let's just make it fun again. Let's stop reminiscing on how fun it used to be and make it fun again. How about that? And that's really what I wanted to say. The internet is dying. And there is something we can do about it. So let's make the internet fun again. Let's make the internet what it should be again. And stop making this all about fucking money. And just take our fucking lives back. I'll leave links to each and every one of these sites down below and each and every one of these alternatives so that you can fucking finally free yourself as well. I know I probably sound like some Matrix guy, but seriously. Trust me. Spend a week on these. Spend a week replacing these. And you're gonna feel so much better, I promise. I'll see you there.